please put in the comment section how ready for this you are, because we're ready. And welcome to the stage, Mr. Dan Roshan.
Yay! Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Day number 5. Congratulations to every one of you for being here today. You are freaking awesome, and you are the winners. You're the winners in real estate. I already know that because you're here today. And let's go ahead and kick off with our CPI manifesto. So I know that some people are still joining us, still joining us. Yet Susie says the sound is good for her. Connie, did you get your sound figured out there? Hopefully that's working for you. And give me a thumbs up. Is the sound good for others? I know Connie's not good, but can you guys hear me? Lance can hear me. Lisa, Curtis is good. Okay, Curtis, long time no see, my man. Where you been all my life? All right, Scott says all good. Fantastic. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's go ahead and let's just start right into this thing for today. By the way, you guys, today's going to be really fantastic. I'm going to teach you the communication hack that will allow for you to instantaneously gain rapport with your people, like instantaneously, and then to be able to persuade them to take the action to make a move, to buy a home or sell a house or invest in real estate. I'm going to teach you that today and more. So go ahead and take yourself off mute. And on 3, we're going to kick this off. And we're going to go through the CPI manifesto. So if you're ready, number 1, 2, 3. I know my why.
I know my way.
Believe
in me.
I'm a kick-ass CPI agent. As long as we get the woos right, that's all that matters to me. As long as we get the woos right. Good job, good job, good job. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Day number 5. Let's go ahead and I'd love to hear about your experience for the week. So if you got one nugget of wisdom this week, if you got one aha this week, if you took one step forward in your business this week, I'd love to be able to hear about it from you now. So go ahead and who'd like to share with us first, please?
I can't.
I can go. Oh, we'll go ahead.
Ladies first. Ladies first.
Okay.
Connie. Hello, Connie. How are you feeling?
Sorry.
Are you feeling better?
Like under the weather still a little bit, but recovering.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I got a listing.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I got a listing.
Boom!
A
Yes.
listing.
Congratulations. Congratulations. How'd you do that, Connie?
Actually, it was for sale by owner, but I knew the owner. So I just persuaded them to let me list it rather than do it by themselves.
All right. I want you to look in that chat right there, Connie. And the CPI community is telling you, wait, on 3, take yourself off mute. And if you don't know what to say on 3, look in the chat. I'll help you out there. So on 3, we're going to say to Connie, 1, 2, 3. Next. Good job. Good job. Good job. Next. Okay, fantastic. Congratulations. Okay. I heard a gentleman earlier today that was going to share. Who was that? I didn't catch who it was.
That was me.
Is that Harvey? Is that Harvey
Yeah.
Penn out here?
It is.
What you got, my man? All right.
So this week I have 7 new prospects. They're looking good. And by the end of the day, I hope to have I'm gonna have a listing. I'm gonna go ahead and speak it into existence. I'm gonna have a listing, and if they can't make their mind up today, I'll be persistent. So
if they didn't make up their mind, I'm coming in with the elbow. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Do not do that. It's not a good sales technique, just so you guys know. Harvey, where did those 7 new prospects come from?
well, a lot came from you in the CPI community.
Okay, tell us more about that.
I guess which detail? I'm not.
Well, I know that you got at least 2 today from the credit monitoring, and from those for monitoring for when somebody applies for a loan. So somebody in your database that had applied for a loan, 2 people today. And
Mhm.
so I know that's at least 2 of the 7. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. And then I know there was another one today that came from one of the lead generation sources that we set you up for with Referral Exchange.
Yeah, actually,
That
2.
was a
Two came today.
$700,000. Yeah,
Yep.
2 came,
700,000.
so that's 4 today, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, congratulations. And that I know one of them was a $700,000 buyer, or 750 or something like that.
7.
700. All right, cool. Would you have had those like last week? Would you have had those 7
I would not have.
clients or 7 prospects?
No.
No. Okay. All right. So that's Harvey, who's actually using the CPI system that I told you guys about yesterday. 7 new ones right there. Bam. There it is. Congratulations, Harvey. Next. Lisa does not like being on video, but pushed through her fears and sent out 8 so far. Good response. Discovered she needed to dig deeper into her why. Lots of thought-provoking nuggets this week. Let me give you guys a fantastic. I'm going to invite for you to do an exercise today. And this exercise is something that you may have to be a little bit vulnerable to be able to embrace. Yet I already know, because you're here today, that you'll be comfortable and confident that you're going to have the permission to do so. If I gave you something that may make some of you a little bit uncomfortable, would you trust me enough that you would say, okay, I can almost blindly say yes before you ask me? You guys okay with that? All right. So I get it, and almost, right? Because you don't know what it's going to be. What I'm going to ask for you to do today, and I want you to write this down on a little piece of paper if you could, so you know that you do it. So we can, just like Harvey says, I'm going to speak this into existence. I want you to write a post on your Facebook timeline today. And on that post, I want you to be as authentic and as vulnerable as you could possibly be. And I want you to share publicly who you are, why you got into real estate, where are you today, and then do a call to action. Okay, so those are the bullet points that I'm going to ask for you to do today. So write a post, and then these are the bullet points in your post. Who are you? That could be just sort of generally like, hey, it's me, Dan. I sell real estate. I live in Clifton, Virginia. Easy enough. Why did you get in real estate? I got in real estate to be able to have freedom, to be able to create an income, to be able to support my family, and to be able to help others. Okay, but make it meaningful to you. Make it, real for you. And then where are you today? Today, after I've helped X amount of people, I've been able to really appreciate and have the gratitude for those that I've been able to help, and thank you so much. And then a call to action. If you have a need to buy a home or sell a house or invest in real estate in the next 12 to 18 months, send me a DM. I'd love to be able to connect with you, learn more about what your needs are, and even just answer some of your general questions. We don't have to make any commitment yet. And I'd love to be able to be a resource for you. Something like that. You guys all good with that? Give me a thumbs up if you're willing to do that exercise. Give me a thumbs up if you're not willing to give me a thumbs up. I'm just saying. All right, guys, go ahead and put your videos on if you could. And let me hear from 1 or 2 more people. Share with us about your experience. What has your experience been this week in real estate sales?
I have one from yesterday.
All right, Diane, go for it.
Remember when I told you that I didn't have enough time to do, and Curtis, I hope you're listening, that I didn't have time to do the Facebook learning for the leads? Well, I did one. And last night, out of total frustration, I couldn't find the leads. It's been running for 2 days, and all I did was basically promote my business. And with a bio that said who I was and why I was in real estate. And I had a third party write something about me because I'm not good about talking about myself. And I got 4 leads in 3 days. But I didn't know where to go get them. No, I
Okay.
didn't know where to go get them. I said, oh my
Okay.
God, they're out in La La Land.
Okay.
So out of frustration and after a glass of beer, I said, you know what? You're not a dumb shit. You're just lazy. Just go scout around and see if you can find it. So I Googled, how do you find your leads on Facebook? So I found them, and hallelujah, I printed them out in a CVS form. So I'm very
That
happy.
was fantastic.
It's the first time I ever got a lead capture. Only
Diane,
because I didn't know how to do it.
Diane, what I just learned from you is when in doubt, have a glass of a beverage of your choice. Say you're not a
Adult
dumb
beverage.
shit. Say you're not a dumb shit and go take action. That's what I learned today.
I'm not a dumb
Congratulations, Diane.
shit,
Good
but
job.
I'm an old shit and I don't want to learn anything else.
Well, Diane, if we were in a different context right now, Diane, if we were in a different community right now, I probably would have stopped you about 4 times through some affirmations there that I wouldn't accept in our conversation. But
Yeah,
because we're not coaching right now, we'll let it roll.
But the end result was the positive result. I had a negative, but I know I can do it. It's just sometimes I don't want to do it.
Got it.
But I know I have to do it. And I know you don't like that word have to, but
That's okay. That's okay.
I need to.
You have the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, I did it.
All right. Fantastic.
I did it.
All right. I want to, so some of you had asked me yesterday after the conversation about the way the CPI 27 days to no broke months can help you more effectively. And just briefly, let me bullet point it. I'm not going to give you a big pitch, anything like that. I just want to give you like really simple. Here's what 27 days to no broke months. Here's how it will help you. We will not only coach you for the same price that other coaches coach you to show you the way, but we will also set it up so just like Harvey, he's got 7 new prospects in his pipeline today that he didn't have last week. I just want to make this as simple as possible for you. And I want you to identify that you can become a new person. Whether if you consciously or subconsciously recognize it or not, you have this relationship with yourself of this identity of who you are. Maybe I'm an old shit. Maybe that's an identity. Maybe I'm a new agent. I was going to say new ass, right? But I should probably stop cursing at this point, right? I'm a new shit, whatever. Okay. Whatever the case may be, right? Like you create that identity for yourself. So with the CPI community in 27 days to no broke months, I invite for you to come with me to let me help you have no broke months. I invite for you to join me, a guy that has had no broke months since 2008, not a single broke month, with an average of 10 sales over those almost 15 years. I invite for you to imagine what that would do for you. To consider, like physically, mentally, spiritually, put yourself in that place right now of like, okay, cool. I have closings every single month. I've got 3 closings next month. I've got 7 new leads, 7 new prospects that just came in, like valid prospect, no BS prospects, like valid people, just like Harvey. They just came into my pipeline this week. That's 1 a day. And I want you to envision that. So that not only when you join No Broke Months, when you join the CPI community, 27 days to no broke months, not only will you get the coaching and guidance that you get with the other companies, but you'll also get the systems, and our team will set that up for you so that you can have the same. I just want you to envision it. So if you haven't already booked your call, go ahead and do so now and get on the have a conversation with myself or Debbie or Curtis so that we can help you discover exactly how we can help you and put together a plan together. You guys okay with that? Yes, 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 yes. Good, 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 good. You guys good? All right, let's go ahead and move on. So today, what you're going to learn is you're going to learn about the CPI communication model. And we use the CPI communication model as a way to be able to really connect with others quickly, to be able to get into traction with others in a way that we can be able to connect with them quickly. And so, so what the CPI communication model is, it's a 3-step model. Okay, and it's everything that we do is a system. We teach real estate sales in a way that's systematic from every single freaking step along the way, right? Like not just like, how do you get business? We'll get the business for you, but now here's how you are able to get hired 85% of the time. Here's a model that I'm going to suggest that you implement and use. So what the CPI model is step one, number one is to build rapport. We're going to talk more about that here in a second. Step number 2 is to ask adept questions. And step number 3 is to actively listen. And for Les, after I go through rapport, I want to play that video before I talk about asking adept questions, okay? All right, so let's talk about building rapport. So what is rapport? Go ahead. Doug, what you got? Go ahead. Doug's like, pick me. I got it. What you got, Doug?
No, I am rapport. That's my name.
Golly dang.
My shoes that I get home.
Yes, it is. Yes, thank you. I freaking love it, man. That's like my type of joke right there. All right. Absent it being your name, what is rapport? Who's got it? Golly day. What is rapport? When you have a connection with the one that you're speaking with, says, I think that was Susie. Thank you. Says Susie. Who else has a definition of rapport?
Finding common ground.
Finding common ground. Thank you, Diane. Who else has a definition of rapport?
Connection.
Connection. Who said that? Kelly. Finding common ground and connecting with finding common grounds and having that, that likeness, that is a way to get rapport. What rapport is like what Kelly said, it's a connectivity. So what is a connection of? So rapport is a connection. If it's of a connectivity, what are you connecting when you have rapport?
Energy.
Thank you, Johnny Root. Energy. So we know that we're spiritual beings. We don't think about it too often. Some of us do, some of us don't. We are spiritual beings in this human manifestation, in this solid body. But this body that you're looking at right now, and the body when I'm looking at you, isn't you. Though when I look at you and when you look at me, you think, hey, that's Dan. And I think, hey, that's Lance, and that's Connie, and that's Russ, and that's Doug, and that's Isis. And so that's the way we relate to each other. But what we truly are, who we truly are, is a spirit that's encapsulated within this body. Does that make sense to everybody? You guys
Yes.
okay with that? Yeah, okay. So when you understand that, or we already understand that, but when you're present to that, we're probably not often present to that, then you know that when you connect with another person, And when you connect with their energy, that is what rapport is. It's about my energy and your energy intertwining, intermingling. It's the
So
same
a
way.
feeling?
Hold on one second, Diane. Yes, but that's put that on ice for 1 second. And when I ask my next question, you say that word. And you will be like the rock star of the group because you're going to get that right. Give me a second before I get there, though. I want you to imagine two dancers coming into a ballroom. They've never met each other before, but they both know how to dance. And they go into a ballroom and the music starts to play. And they start to dance. Yet, they don't touch each other. They don't put their hands on each other's shoulders, or they don't take each other's hands. They just simply dance in unison. When one partner puts her right shoulder in, the other partner takes his left shoulder out, and vice versa. And they dance in in sync. How can those two dancers be able to do so without touching each other? Besides the fact that they have the skill set to do so, but what do they have to do to be able to make that happen? They have to pay attention to the energy of the other. Would you guys agree with that? Okay, because they can't just go in there and then absently mindedly just be like, and expect for the other to follow or to lead. And so that's an example of a physical representation of connectivity. Now, remember I said the next question, here's the next question. How do you know when you're in rapport?
The feeling.
Yes! Okay, you have a feeling. That's how you know when you're in rapport. You have a physical feeling. Okay, so when you have that physical feeling, then you know that you're going to be, that you are in rapport. So because of that, not only am I asking you to pay attention to their energy, not only am I asking you to pay attention to your surroundings and the environment and their spirit, I'm also asking for you to pay attention to your energy. And the hack to getting into rapport most quickly is to pay attention to your own energy, even before you're paying attention to them. Because if you're not observant of your own energy, and if you're not able to really reflect on your own mental and spiritual state first, it's going to be hard to receive their energy. When you're communicating with others, first step, pay attention to your energy. Second step, pay attention to their energy. Let me play you a video here real quick. So that's rapport. And we're going to put these three components together. Wolf of Wall Street. Who's watched Wolf of Wall Street? All right. Probably not as many ladies as gentlemen, I would expect. But Wolf of Wall Street is a movie that talks about a salesperson who was not really scrupulous. And nonetheless, he sort of had a recovery in his later years to, I guess, be supposedly the good guy. And I want to show you a video about him being interviewed, the real guy from that the movie was placed about. Go ahead, Les.
Hello, Mr. Belfort. Thank you so much for being here. I have one question, and I'm a huge fan of your film, so this just comes quite naturally. Can you please sell me this pen?
You know, no one's ever asked me that before. It's the first time. So let me tell you what that whole exercise really stands for, right? So the whole sell me this pen narrative is really It's a test that you give to a salesman to see if they really understand what selling's all about. If you ask someone who's not a professional salesman, who doesn't have the right instincts, they'll start actually trying to sell you a pen. This pen is great. This pen writes upside down. It's the best value for its money. This pen will last forever. Here, buy this pen. Here's the thing. The only one rational thing you could do when someone says, sell me this pen, and that is to start asking them questions. So tell me, how long have you been in the market for a pen? What type of pens have you used in the past? Is it business or personal? Typically, when you buy a pen, what type of money do you spend on one? Do you buy expensive pen? The key to selling is to find out, step one, what are your clients' needs, values? What pain are they looking to resolve? What do they need? And you're looking to fill that need at the utmost basic level, right? Well, when you just go out and try to sell something to someone, what you're saying is, I don't give a shit about you. I'm just going to ram this down your throat, right? I want to know what you need. I want to know what you've done in the past. So you ask questions. If I ask someone, hey, so how long have you been in the market for a pen? They say, oh, I'm not looking for a pen. Great, have a nice day. I don't sell people the things that people aren't looking for. I wouldn't try to sell you a pen if you're not looking to buy a pen. So and if someone said to me, I say, wow, this person really knows how to sell. Because the biggest mistake that rookie salesmen make is they try to sell to everybody versus weeding out people who are not interested and only selling to those who are. So I ask questions. But not any question. I ask pointed questions to identify what type of pens you've used in the past, how much money you have. Now, the pen is like a euphemism for any product, right? By doing that, I can get a good sense of what you're about. And then when I'm done asking my questions, and I know what I need to know, I'll say, well, based on what you said to me, this pen is a perfect if you let me tell you why. And now I'm actually matching my pen to what you need, and I tailor my presentation to fill that need, and it's much more elegant. Make sense?
Yes,
Okay,
thank
great.
you.
All right. So, asking adept questions is the key to sales and is the key to understanding and it's the key to persuasion. Because just like the gentleman just said, until you seek to understand, you're just, making noise. And so to be able to sell, it is through asking adept questions. So as we go through this process in pointed question, as he shared as well. So we build rapport, which is that connectivity. So we pay attention to our energy, we pay attention to their energy, and we pay attention to the way that they intermingle. Then we ask adept questions. Those adept questions, we can go wide, we can go deep. An example of a wide adept question would be a very, very general question, such as, oh, so you're buying a home? Yes, great, fantastic. Oh, so you've been intending to buy for how long? Oh, for whatever. Oh, okay, and how many rooms are you going to need? They're going to say whatever. Those are wide questions. You're just gathering data. And then you can ask deep questions. You can dive deep. So a deep question would be about, what does this mean to you? I was working with, I don't know where I placed those notes. I wish I should have had them out. I was working with one of my agents yesterday who I was coaching, and I had helped him to set up the opportunity with a buyer. And what was important to her, the buyer, she lived in one county, Arlington County, Virginia, and she wanted to stay in Arlington County, Virginia, but there's no homes in her price range. And so now she needs to be in Alexander, Virginia. And so, which is, still an expensive spot, but there's some areas in Alexander a little bit less than Arlington. And so when I had the conversation with her, I went wide, understood what she wanted. She has a child who's 18 years old, last year of high school. She has two older children who are already out. So she doesn't need, she's like, I need 2 bedrooms, but I don't, I don't need a lot. Those are the wide questions. But then when I realized that she was really attached to living in Arlington, I realized that was going to be the true objection, was I want to live in Arlington. So I had to dive deep on it to find what is your real true motivating factor. And what I learned was that she didn't want to be caught with paying rent. She didn't want to be caught at the whims of the landlord deciding to raise the rents. And she wanted to leave a legacy. So I asked her the adept questions such as, well, I'm just curious. Her name's Tina. I said, I'm just curious, Tina, what would buying a home do for you? Well, I wouldn't have to pay rents, and I could, be able to buy my, be able to make my, pay my own, pay to myself. And I don't have to worry about the, landlord raising the rents. Tell me more about that, Tina. Well, ultimately, I'm 50 years old and I haven't really created anything for my kids yet. And I want to leave a legacy. And so as I asked those deep questions and found out what's really meaningful to her, when I handed her off to the agent, I told him, I said, look, here's the deal. She's going to be caught on living in Arlington. Yet, when you approach it with the perspective of, Tina, I know that you want to position yourself so that you never have to be at the mercy of a landlord raising a rent. And I know that you want to be able to create a legacy for your kids. I also know that you want to live in Arlington rather than Alexandria. So what I'm curious about is it more important to you to live in Arlington, or is it more important to you to leave a legacy for your kids and be in control of your destiny? Now, whatever she answers to that question is valid. I'm not intending for her to go in one direction or the other, but I am intending to be able to make it a spotlight on, here's your options. But you have to first understand what is it that she wants before you can do that. So going back to the CPI communication model, build rapport, which is paying attention to the energy and connecting, then ask adept questions, wide and deep, and then actively listen. Now, when you actively listen, I'll give you a little clue to answer this next question. It's been within the context of this conversation we've had. You already heard the answer to this next question. When you actively listen, what are you actively listening to and for? Who'd like to answer that? When you're actively listening, what are you actively listening to and for? What you guys got? What are you Susie says objections, okay? What else we got? Motivation. What else you got? What are you actively listening for and to?
What they want, their needs.
Their needs, what they want. What else are you actively listening for and to? Let me give you a better hint.
What they don't say.
What they don't say. You're really, really close. You are, I want to communicate that a little bit differently. So let me give you a better hint than I gave you before. What is rapport? Rapport is a connectivity.
Yeah.
What is a connection of?
Energy.
Energy. What are you actively listening for and to?
Their energy.
Boom. There it is right there. You're listening for and to their energy. Now, their solutions to their needs, their questions and their motivation, their urgency, their body language, which again is their energy, problems to develop solutions. Oh, I didn't miss you, Susie. Yes, energy. Lorraine, their why, Lance, desires, wants, and needs. Motivation, objections from Susie, right? So that's all correct. All those things is what you're listening to, but ultimately you're listening to their energy. In some of these answers is what they say, what they don't say, how they say it. Because when you pay attention to their energy, you'll know when you have somebody in alignment with you and when you don't. Has anybody here ever had somebody say yes to you where it wasn't truly a yes? Like, hey, do you want to buy this home? Yes. And if you just listen to the words, if you read the transcript of that, you'd be like, dude just said yes, because that's the words. Yet, that's not what was said. You guys follow me on that? So, as you listen to the energy, you'll be able to be a more skilled agent, a more skilled persuader, and a more effective agent who has no broke months. So that's the CPI communication model. So in every communication that you have, because it does not just in sales that this works, it works in life. Because when you're truly paying attention to the energy of your spouse, of your boyfriend, of your girlfriend, of your daughter, of your son, of your parents, of your cousin, of your best friend, when you're truly paying attention to their energy, you'll be able to have a better connection. So the CPI communication model is a closed loop. It's about building that rapport by paying attention to energy, and then it's about closing that loop by paying attention to energy. Let's talk about the strategies that we worked on this week, and the tactics rather. And let's put this all together. So congratulations to Connie, who got that for sale by owner to hire you. That's freaking awesome. And I want to talk to you about for sale by owners, open houses, and the Facebook lead generation. And so what I'm going to ask for you guys to do after this class is, I already gave you your homework for today, which is to write the post of, on Facebook of who you are, why you got into real estate, where are you today? That's your homework for today. And to continue implementing your strategy, your tactic from now till the end of time. And to do so 5 days a week. Consider that your job description. Now, if what you did this week you don't like doing, then that's fine. Pick something else. Because I do want you to do something that's going to be your way. So if it's for sale by owners, with a for sale by owner, what you're there to do is to not get the listing. Who recalls what you're there to do with a for sale by owner on your first appointment? What are you there to do? What are you there to get? Or to establish? What are you there to get when you're with a for sale by owner? A relationship, says Lisa. You're there to get a relationship. You get that through Connie, Lance, and Diane creating rapport. That's a part of developing the relationship. Okay, so it's understanding, like, where am I going and what's the vehicle that I'm going to use to get there? The vehicle I'm going to use to get to the relationship is rapport. That's a part of the vehicle. Does that make sense to you guys? You guys all follow me on that? Okay, so for sale by owners, your job is there to create the relationship. We do that with our for sale by owner help kit, where I say to them, you go in, you're just there, a couple niceties. You, at some point, about 2/3 of the conversation, you take your for sale by owner help kit and you give it to them and you say, Mr. For sale by owner, I put this together for you to show you how you can do this on your own, because I know and I respect you, and I'm not here to beg you for your business like my competitors will. By the way, when you say that, did you just set those guys up for failure? You sure did, right? You just set them up for failure because you know what they're going to do, so you call it out. Every other agent is going to come here and they're going to beg you for your business. They're going to tell you why you should not do this on your own. They're going to tell you why you need to hire an agent. And they're going to tell you why the National Association of Realtors says that X% of for sale by owners end up never selling and hire an agent, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is every single thing that you're going to hear from those other agents. Because it is. Because that's what's trained. That's the way that we get trained for sale by owners. Is that any of this sound familiar? Has anybody ever gone to a training that sounds something like what I just said? So call them out. set your competitors up for failure. I mean, I'm not wishing them failure, but I'm wishing you success. Okay. And so call them out when you're there and say, unlike my competitors are going to do all that, I'm here to help you, which is why I put together this help kit that will show you exactly how to do this on your own, because I respect you very much, Mr. For Sale by Owner, and then pay attention to the key ingredients. And I do this because I know that many times a for sale by owner will hire an agent. And if that becomes you, I just would appreciate the opportunity to apply for the job. Does that seem like a fair exchange? Yes, yes. And so that's the way that we use the for sale by owner help kit. And so Leslie's helping you guys all out with the VIP, and you can share with us there a link if for those that weren't VIP to get that help kit as well. And so so that is the for sale by owner tactic. Now, how often will you get hired? So let me handle this for you right now. You will get rejected 84% of the time that you meet face to face with somebody. You will have every single reason of why this doesn't work. I set an appointment with Bob and his sister showed up. I didn't even get a chance to meet with the seller. I set an appointment with Bob, I showed up, and he yelled at me because I didn't bring him a buyer. I set an appointment with Bob, and he slammed the door in my face. A version of that will happen 84% of the time. Yet, 16% of the time or greater, you'll get hired. Now, those numbers come from a year and a half ago when we were measuring the numbers, when the market was so freaking hot, 1 out of 7 for sale by owners who you met with would hire you. Today, it should be going back down to 1 out of 5. I'm going to still teach 1 out of 7 because we haven't measured that yet. Yet, before the market got as hot as it did over, through the pandemic, it was 1 out of 5. So if I was teaching this class right now in 2018, I would tell you that 20% will hire you and 80% will tell you to buzz off. So what that means is whatever metric that we're using, though I do think it's the 1 to 5 that's more accurate, that if you want to list 50 homes in the next 12 months, you simply have got to send 7 text messages today and 7 text messages tomorrow and 7 text messages 5 days a week. And from those 7 text messages, you'll get 1 appointment. And from those 1 appointments, every 5 of them to 7 will hire you. 16 to 20%. When you follow this system and when you implement it in a way that's systematic. Facebook lead generator. Again, I told you guys this the other day. Every single lead that you ever get sucks. Your job is to figure out which leads do not suck. Using the Facebook lead generator, you're going to have even more reasons of why this doesn't work. I'm just laying this all out. I already know the reasons, right? So when you come and say, hey, there's the reason why this sucks. Okay, great. Got it. So I'm just going to tell you the reasons before you say the reasons to yourself, because I don't want these reasons to become your reality. I want you to acknowledge the reasons are real. Great. Who cares? Next. 1 out of 100 of Facebook leads will hire you and go to closing in a 90-day or less time period. 4 out of 100 will go to closing within 18 months. That's science. That's proven. We've measured that. I've measured that for 15 plus years. Like that, or those are the numbers. So first of all, the 4 that go to closing, you need a really damn good system like the CPI CRM to be able to track them and to communicate with them so that you get those 4 in 18 months, because it's really, really hard to track them. But let's not even worry about the second 3. Let's worry about the first 1, the one that you can get today. You're going to get that 1 from calling those leads within 5 minutes or 5 nanoseconds of them coming in and giving them a phone call. That phone call is going to look something like this. Hey, Bob, it's Dan Roshan with ABC Realty. Hey, I see that you were online looking for some homes, and I'm just calling to give you a call. And I'm curious, are you in the market to buy a home? And that's all that you say to them. And then you shut up and you listen. You say that relatively, I said it slowly for demonstration purposes, but in real live fire, you're saying it quicker. So it's going to sound more like this. Hey, John. Hey, it's Dan Roshan. I'm a local real estate agent. I see you were searching online, and I'm just curious, are you in the market to buy a home? Most likely what they're going to say at that point is, what? And that's okay. So when they say what, then you slow down. Say, oh, my name's Dan Roshan. I'm a local real estate agent. I see you were searching for homes online, and I just calling as part of my customer service follow-up. I'm just curious, are you in the market to buy a home? Then they're going to say whatever they're going to say. Now, if they give you a smoke screen, if they give you a stall, not an objection, we've been talking about stalls and objections in the CPI community all week this week. If they give you a stall, what that stall can look like is anything other than a yes, basically at this point, then you follow up with it with a very simple question. That very simple question is, if you could buy right now, would you? If you could buy right now, would you? When you ask that question, you'll get the objection. So what I don't want you to do is misunderstand the stall as the objection. It's not. So the way that that's going to look like is they're going to say, oh, no, I'm not in the market to buy a home right now. That's a stall. Say, oh, you're not in the market to buy a home right now? Well, Lance, if you were able to buy a home right now, would you? Well, yeah, but my credit sucks. Boom. That's the objection. You guys see how you get the objection? Okay, so now you have something to handle. And now as you have something to handle, now you can then handle the objection by using the objection handler script, which I'll tell you right now, but I'm not going to reiterate it because I'm running out of time. Again, this is what you'll learn in the CPI community. But the objection handling script is you're going to repeat, affirm, isolate, and then handle the objection. So, hey, Lance, are you in the market to buy a home? No. Well, if you could buy right now, would you? Well, I would, but my credit sucks. Oh, your credit sucks? Well, you're smart for making sure that you have the ability to be able to buy. So I just repeat, and I called you smart, affirmed. I'm just curious, isolate. Is there anything besides the ability to have great credit that would cause you to not buy today? No, if my credit was good, I'd buy. Fantastic. Handle. I've got a lender who specializes in home buyers who have less than ideal credit. He's got the best rates and terms in the business. I wouldn't mind doing this. I wouldn't mind introducing him to you. Would that be of value to you? That way you could just figure out if this is viable or not? Yes. Now you took from a stall of a no that the average agent would say, I just got rejected. They said no, they don't want my help. To now I set the appointment. Okay, I'm throwing a lot at you guys right now, and I'm throwing it really, really fast and hard because I want to give you as much content as I can in the last few minutes. And this, again, is what we do in a more extended period in a way to be able to actually make sure that you're catching everything when you join the CPI community. So that's the Facebook lead generator. The last of the 3 tactics this week is the open house. So we guesstimate, we measure, this isn't a guesstimate, this is actually a measurement, that on average, 5 people come into an open house. That's, again, measured. We already know what the number is going to be. And we've measured that half of them say they're working with an agent, which means that half of them are not. So of the half that are not, some of them are neighbors and some of them are buyers. The neighbors, some of them are just purely, just looky-loos or just nosy neighbors. And some of them are scoping out the competition because they're considering to sell. So if you consider it like that, if you consider the numbers for every open house that you do, you should have 2.5 valid prospects. That's the numbers that we've measured on average. We could improve that by, putting you in a higher, higher walkable community, higher, traffic community. whatever the case may be. There's all kinds of ways that we can improve those numbers, but just on average, these are the numbers. So if you know that 50% that come in are going to be valid, they're either not working with an agent or they're a neighbor, then let's do the math. If you did one open house a weekend, that means every single month you would meet 10 valid buyers or neighbors. If you did 4 every single weekend, then that means that you would meet 20. I can do math. Valid buyers and sellers. You cannot tell me that when you meet that many, and no, I'm sorry, it is 40. When you meet 40 valid buyers or sellers, that you won't be successful. You can't tell me it. You cannot tell it to me. I don't care if you're the worst agent and don't know how to sell, have no understanding of the CPI communication model or any other sales techniques whatsoever. You will fall into business just merely by doing the activity. But you got to do the activity. And you got to let every single reason why you think that you shouldn't be doing or why this doesn't work. And you got to just say, hey, you know what? That's whatever. I know the majority of the time I'm going to strike out. I was at an event one time. I brought 15 people to this convention, and one of the to a real estate agent convention. And on stage at that real estate convention was a gentleman named Ben Kinney, who was being interviewed by a gentleman named Gary Keller. And if you don't know who those two people are, Google them, and you probably may be interested to find out who they are. So either way, icons of real estate. And on the stage, Ben Kinney's being interviewed by Gary. And the agent who is my guest is sitting beside me. And she whispers over to me. She's like, oh, what a great success Ben is. And I whisper back to her. I said, nah, he's the biggest failure in the room. And she's like, what? I was like, ask me at lunch. I'll tell you later. And I forget about it. We go on later on at lunch. We're together. And she's like, Dan, what did you mean by he's the biggest failure in the room? I was like, check this out. Ben has failed more times than most anybody else in this room, probably absent of Gary, because he's taken more shots. Now, granted, there are levels of skills, okay? And so granted, somebody with Ben Kinney's caliber of skill set, he's gonna proportionately have more successes, but he's also gonna have more failures, way more failures. So when you look at successful people, don't look at that pinnacle. Understand all the things that they've done to strike out. And so understand that if you were to strike out, don't make that mean anything. Don't let that be your desire, your identity. I already spoke with you earlier today about having that identity. And if you have an identity right now of, I suck because I did this open house and I converted nobody, or I suck because I didn't get 7 leads in the last couple of days like Harvey did, like valid buyers that are ready to buy right now. I didn't do that. If that's the identity that you're creating for yourself, then that in of itself is the number one reason why you should book your call right now to have a conversation with Curtis or myself or Debbie, because I want you to have a new identity. I want you to have that identity of, wow, I can believe in myself. I can have faith in myself. I know, I just want you to imagine right now what your life would look like when, man, I got business. I want you to think about like what your family would think about you, what you would think about you. And so as we sum up, I want to show you a video, and even if you're on the fence right now, even if you're like, I don't know, just freaking take action. Just like everything else, just have the conversation, because the worst thing that you could do today is to leave this conversation right here. If you've gotten value out of this conversation, just imagine how much value you're going to get over the next year when I'm in your freaking corner, when I'm there helping you, when my whole entire team is there helping you. Just imagine that. Go ahead and watch this video, please.
I'm a fairly new realtor. I've been in the business for about four months.
I'm a realtor, but I'm also a wholesaler.
I think the one thing that's missing from my business,
I'm not really very consistent.
organization of time.
That's right. Consistency is what I'm really looking at. I'm a one-man show.
Have I been consistent with my prospecting? Absolutely not.
I was lost because I was trying many things.
I'm selling real estate right now because I have.
It's hard, and I've spent a lot of years going 2 steps forward.
There are a lot of things I could have done differently.
5 steps backwards, and
there was no direction, what to adopt and what to leave, and
I'm intimidated not being able to speak the language.
Where to start and where to go.
2 weeks ago when I took your 5-day challenge, you say just pick up the phone and just...
The 3 strategies that Dan taught, my favorite one was picking up the phone or texting for sale by owners.
I am at that point of, I know when I focus on this and hire you as my mentor, I'm going to go big and just leave my regular job.
Found my way, and in my first consultation, Dan discovered where my strengths are. So him and I together, we realized it, and mine is video.
I think the one goal was to focus in on just one thing. Like Doug decided that he wanted to do the for sale by owners program, and I was doing the Facebook part of it.
in the 5-day challenge, I really learned that there's a simpler pathway to consistency.
And so after he talked about 2 weeks ago, I actually just went and got 3 listings.
By doing so, I have been making video consistently for a year. Since the program, I've doubled my income, and most of it, hey, hold your socks here, have been in my boxers.
I've been with Dan since 2015, but like what JJ says, the timing wasn't right. I had to put my efforts and my mind and all my energy into fixing my home, and a lot of stuff that are really serious, and that has passed. But the thing with me was I never gave up with real estate, even though I had to do it part-time. I knew in my heart this is the place where I'm at, so I never gave up. But I'm getting ready to go full-time.
Trust me, you do not want to see Ephraim in his boxers. That's all I got to say about that conversation. All right, there's only 2 reasons why you would not sign up today, or at least book your call. And number 1 is either you don't believe in me, in the system, or number 2 is you don't believe in yourself. You have the right to believe in yourself. And if you think money's an issue, it's guaranteed. Like, I promise you that if you're not happy with the services that we provide, in 27 days, if you don't have all the things set up so that you can do business today, we'll give you your money back. So it's a no-brainer. It is a no-brainer. And when you book your call today, but only today, you also get to be the co-author on the book, How to Be the Path to Sell Your Local Property for Top Dollar. Sellers got to review prior to interviewing real estate agents. When you order today, when you book your call today, you become my co-author, and you can be a part of this book that gets me hired 85% of the time. So in summary, I want to thank everybody for being here over the course of the week. I hope to be able to be a resource for you. I hope that you got lots of great values and nuggets out of this week's course. And again, I want to encourage for you to go ahead and set up your conversation with Curtis or myself or Debbie. And lastly, I want to leave you with 10 things that require 0 talent and 0 money. So I want you to consider this. If right now you think that you don't have the talent or the money to succeed, you can do these 10 things. Number 1, be on time. Number 2 is your work ethic. You're in charge of that. Your passion. You have the ability to do extra, to be prepared, your attitude, your body language, your effort, your energy, and your ability to be coachable. Your willingness to get a guide and to have somebody to help you. So thank you, everybody, for joining me this week. It's a pleasure to meet you. And until I see you next time, I want to encourage for you to be grateful, make good choices, go help somebody, have the best day of your life today, and answer the question, where will I find that next listing today? God bless you guys. I'll see you. All right. So if you're still here right now,